So are you training for a marathon and you're wondering what gear you should get? Well, my name's Caroline. I have been running marathons for over 5 years and I'm actually aiming for the Olympics. So I've tried a lot of different brands, a lot of different gears, and this video is just me going through some of my favorite gear and sharing it with all of you. So I'm going to talk about first what shoes I love, then I'm going to talk about nutrition, then I'm going to talk about my water bottles, I'm going to talk about my clothing, I'm going to talk about my sunglasses and sunscreen. So feel free to skip to whatever part that you are the most curious about because I have timestamps below. So for shoes, I recommend having 2 separate trainers or 2 different trainers. So one that's an easy run shoe and one that's more a speed shoe or tempo shoe. So my favorite easy run shoes are going to be the Hoka Cliftons. I love Hoka in general. I love for easy run shoes. I just think they're very comfortable, very breathable. They're also pretty durable. They last for quite a while, which you want when you're marathon training because you are going to put a lot of miles or kilometers on them. So yeah, these are the Hoka Skyflow. I've been using these for my long runs. I feel like they're more breathable and they feel bouncier than the Clifton, so I just enjoy having them for a longer run. You don't need as many as I have. I obviously run a lot. I run 85 miles per week. So I'd say if you're new, 2 pairs is going to be awesome. But yeah, some of my easy run shoes that I love, the Cliftons, the Hoka Skyflow. I also love the Hoka Muck, which you see here. There's also the Muck X. The Muck X I recommend for a tempo session, so a little faster session. But for your easy run shoes, you just want something that's really comfortable and durable. And then for my speed work, which I do a lot of threshold training, and I want my speed shoe to mimic or to be the same shoe I'm gonna race in. Practice having that same shoe. And my favorite race shoe is the Nike Alpha Fly. So here I have the Alpha Flies. I switch up the colors. Right now it's this color. But if I'm gonna be honest, I love orange, as you probably can already tell. So yeah, I prefer the orange ones. And then here I also have the Saucony Endorphin Pros, which I've also really liked. And I've liked switching up the brands, just like the variety for my feet. So I'd recommend, again, having 1 pair of carbon plated shoes that you'll also race in, that you'll use for your tempo sessions, and then 1 pair of easy run shoe that's just a little bit more durable and comfortable, like for example the Hoka Skyflow. So the second most important thing you need to remember when you're training for a marathon is to really think about nutrition in a different way than you've probably thought about nutrition before. Because when you're just going on a regular run, you really don't have to worry too much about nutrition. But when you're training for a marathon, and especially when you're racing the marathon, nutrition is 100% key. So I'm a marathon coach, and I think that one of the main reasons why people are hitting the wall at mile 20 is because of lack of nutrition. And the thing is that you want to start practicing your nutrition before the actual marathon so that when come marathon day, you're not being stopped by nutrition. So I'd say before the run, really focusing on carbs because that is what you're going to be utilizing on that run right away. You also do want to have protein, right? Protein satiates you, protein helps repair. So especially focus on the carbs before you run, and then after the run, you want to focus on carbs and protein. And you want that 3-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein. So a lot of people focus on the protein, but you actually want more carbs than protein after the run. My startup, Satisfied, we do protein muffins that also have carbs, but the carbs are from oats, from banana, from carrots. So something like this is perfect pre-workout. It's also perfect post-workout. I normally will add more banana or some more fruit just to up the carb content. Pre and post workout fuel is just super important, especially when you're marathon training, because you are burning a lot of calories, and if you are in too much of a deficit, that's definitely going to impact recovery, and that's going to impact performance. About fueling is very often you're not hungry right after run, but that does not mean that you don't need fuel because you've just burned a lot of calories, so it is really important to eat even though you're not hungry. And this might be something that is new to you if you haven't been training for a marathon, and especially if you're coming into marathon training and running with a place of wanting to lose some weight. So then I recommend to actually focus on that fuel before and after your workouts, and then instead being in that potential deficit later on, not right with the workout. The second most important thing when you're marathon training is to have some form of carbohydrates when you're running more than an hour. So my favorite gels, so gels, for those of you who don't know, are just carbohydrates that you take while you're running. And I really believe in experimenting with different brands to see what works well for your gut, what taste you like, just what works for you. We are all very different. I personally have finally found a brand that I love and that I actually look forward to taking. So when I first started taking gels, I just couldn't do it because I didn't like the citrus flavors. And then I tried the Morton gels that are unflavored, but I just could not stand the consistency and that it was like flavorless. So it wasn't until I found the GU chocolate gels that I really just started loving gels. So yeah, my favorite flavor is the chocolate outrage, but I'd say as far as fueling while you're running, you don't need like a fancy product like gels. You can also definitely use banana, you can bring some dates. The important thing is getting in some carbohydrates while you're running. But these gels are super convenient. So especially if you're running for a while and you need quite a bit of carbohydrates, then it can be really hard to carry the banana and the dates while you're running for longer, versus taking one of these gels, you just easily rip up the top and you can just like squeeze it into your mouth while you're running. So now I just find it way more convenient and it's just less volume, so it's easier to digest because you don't want something that is going to be hard to digest while you're running. I also love that the GU gels have amino acids, and they also have electrolytes, so they have sodium, and even these have caffeine, a very small amount. These only have 20 milligrams, but when you're taking them, so I take a gel every 30 minutes. So if I'm running for 2 hours, I'll take 4 gels. Then it's just nice to have that constant dose of caffeine, but it's still a smaller dose. If I'm having a threshold session or a long run, I'll do the Rocktan gel from GU, same flavor, the chocolate, but this one has more amino acid. It has 1,425 milligrams of amino acid and even more sodium, 180 milligrams sodium. Yeah, I think electrolytes is important, especially if you're running in a hot place. So when I was training in Norway, so I'm from Norway, then electrolytes was less important, especially because I eat a lot of I crave salt. So I eat a lot of salt and I love using Himalayan salt, so I do get a lot of electrolytes just through that. But I've noticed after I've moved to San Diego that I need even more, and that's when taking electrolytes has just really helped me stay hydrated. I also really love this brand True Wild. So LMNT, for example, they are just electrolytes, versus True Wild, they have BCAAs, which is awesome, especially when you're having a harder session to aid in that muscle recovery. And my favorite flavor is the watermelon lemonade. 2 other supplements that I love taking from True Wild is a Nitric Beets. So this is great for VO2 max and blood flow. And then I also take the adaptogens, which is really good for hormone balance. And I have a link in the description with a discount code to True Wild. But I'd say these are more like a want to have, not a need to have for marathon training. The carbohydrates while you're running, that's a need to have. So the last supplement I really would recommend if you're marathon training is magnesium. So I take magnesium before I go to bed, and it's just really helps my muscles relax. Again, this is not a need to have, it's a want to have, but it's something that I started implementing after I started working with my registered sports dietitian. And again, it's really hard to see what exactly is working, but definitely I'm running stronger than ever, and I think it's because I am doing all these things and taking all these supplements. So if you're curious about my whole supplement routine, then check out this video where I just talk about my whole routine and why I've added those things. Now on to water bottles. Okay, so for water bottles, I love this small little handheld water bottle, and I'll bring that on a shorter run, so maybe like 45 minutes to an hour, because I don't need as much water. And then I'll just hold it and I'll switch hands just to make sure it's even. Yeah, this is just like a super simple way to carry your hydration. And then I also love this running vest from Lululemon. It's very lightweight, which I love. So I love how I can have one thing of water like here in the back. So I have this one. It's a Hydro Pack, and it has 2 liters. It's at 50 ounces. So it's quite a bit of water, and I'll typically bring this for a long run, and then I'll add electrolytes in there too. And I put this in the back here, and then sometimes I'll even bring a water bottle for my tempo sessions, and I'll just stack the water bottle in here, and then I'll just grab it from the back. So this is super convenient. This even has, let me show you, it even has 2 pockets here in the front where you can have additional water. So I have these in the front, and I really like how these are longer so that I can actually drink while I'm wearing the vest. And then I also have this larger, not a vest, it's a backpack from Solomon, I think. I've had this one for like 5 years, and I used to bring this one in Norway, and that's when I would have bananas, dates, like my fuel that was a little bit heavier. But yeah, now I prefer just having lighter. So we'll talk about that when I talk about clothing, but now I'll have my gels just in my shorts. So, but this one's great for like cross-country skiing, but too big for me now. Next, let's talk about clothing. Okay, so I have spent a lot of time trying to figure out what brand is the best to run in, because there's so many brands I feel like focus on like gym wear, but having something that's really functional that lets you carry all your gels, where you can have your phone, and that also just really looks good and is high quality. Because when you're, especially like me, when I'm running so much, it's just very easy that something cheap will start off looking good and then eventually it just looks all like saggy. So yeah, I spend a lot of time trying to figure out what brand just like works for me, and I have finally found that brand, and that is LSKD. So they're an Australian brand, and the reason I found them actually was because they opened a store in Pacific Beach, San Diego, and I live in San Diego, and I tried on one of their shorts and I noticed that they have pockets, and I've struggled like crazy finding a clothing brand that has deep pockets and that's really high quality. So I'll show you some different ones, but this is the Fusion shorts, which I love. These are a little bit thicker, but yeah, they have deep pockets here. So I'll fit like 4 to 5 gels in one pocket, and then I'll have my phone in the other pocket And then I'll have my keys with the gels. Like, yeah, works really well. And as you see, like, I've worn this so many times and it still just holds really well. This is a Fusion shorts. Another pair of shorts I love from them are the Elixir shorts. They also have pockets. I just have a bunch of different colors because I'm just obsessed with having a cute running outfit. Here I have the Fusion in black. And I'll wear the Fusion for everyday use as well. And then here I have, it's actually not the same color, but also with pockets. It's a little bit redder, this color. Black sports bra, Ellis Kitty. Again, it's just really high quality and it looks really good. And if you're interested to learn more about Ellis Kitty, I actually did a review, so check out that video if you want to see that. Now let's talk about sunglasses. These are actually new. So for way too long, I was neglecting sunglasses, and sunglasses are especially important if you have light eyes like me, and they also just really can make your running outfit look even better. So I highly recommend getting some pair of sunglasses that just make you feel good and that obviously have good UV protection. And yeah, I found blenders to be really nice. So these are the Eclipse X2 in blue. The final thing we're going to talk about is sunscreen. So I'm from Norway, and Norwegians are notoriously known for being horrible with sunscreen. And I think we have like the largest or the highest rate of skin cancer in the world, which is honestly just really embarrassing. But I realized why I was not putting on sunscreen was because I wanted a nice tan. And if this is you, there are other ways to get a nice tan than to neglect putting on sunscreen. So I finally found a sunscreen brand that is just all natural. It's very smooth to put on. Like, it's not like really greasy. So it's called Korres and it's Greek. This one's yogurt. This is the face one. And I put this on instead of putting on my daily lotion every morning. It's just what I do after I've washed my face. And I'm really proud of myself because I've been doing this now for the last 2 years. And I have not gotten sunburned despite living in San Diego. They also have this after sun that I'll put on. And then they have larger tubes. I just finished like the 30 tube with like big tubes. And yeah, I just love this brand, Korres. So I highly recommend. And I have a link to all the products in the description, so check them out. Thank you so much for watching. So if you want to learn more about marathon training, then check out this video. It's all about how to run a marathon. And also, if you just want to follow along my journey as I'm working towards the Olympics, then check out my series, my comeback series. Also, if you want to learn more about my story of how I won my first marathon, improved with 19 minutes for my second marathon, had a bunch of injuries, and am now running stronger than ever, then check out this series, My Story. And I'll see you in the next one.